that tournament. Here she is, Jennifer Cudjoe. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're awesome. We are very excited to talk to you. So, how was your day? Did you guys have training this morning, or are you just back from training here now?
Oh, now we got back from training like a few hours ago. I'm doing great. I just finished cooking and I'm ready to dive in and talk to you
Ooh,
guys. So I'm
ooh,
really
what'd you
excited to
what'd you
be here.
cook?
I made some African food, which is my favorite thing to do every day. So
Give us some more
it's
details. What'd you
called
make?
I make okra stew. So
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's basically you guys call it okra, but we call it okra. So
That's
Okay.
it's
that is
okra,
my
but we call it
favorite.
okra. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
okra. I love this so much. Yum. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
probably make it better than I do though, because mine is just salt and pepper.
Oh, mine is pepper too. Too much pepper, I think.
Yeah. I love that. Well, welcome to the show. What a
Thank you.
exciting year this has been for you. First off, I think we just want to say how impressed all three of us have been by you and your
Oh,
performances with Sky Blue. Um, Take us into what it's like to be a member of this Sky Blue FC team.
it's just for me. It's just surreal. It's amazing to finally be here and be part of this organization. And I'm just enjoying every moment of it and really, really like excited for what is coming up. And I'm just happy that I'm finally here and doing what I love so much. So it's been incredible for me. Yeah.
Go ahead, Lori. I know you've got a million
Yeah,
questions
I
for her
totally do.
too.
Well, Jennifer, I'm just
Um,
echoing what everyone said. Thank you so much for being on. And I've had the really great privilege to be able to call a lot of your games and to see you
oh,
play. And
thank you.
what an impact you've made for the Sky Blue team. Can you kind of one talk about your journey a little bit, but then also what's next for you? Like, what are you looking forward to? Evolution of your game with the Sky Blue team.
For what I'm looking for right now, I know during the challenge cap, a lot of people saw a different side of me, which is more like the defensive side of me, and being strong and being able to work back in defense and all that. I think I didn't show much of attacking side in that, but I think that moment I was doing what was needed for my team. But I think as time goes on, getting into next season and the year ahead, a lot of people will get to see the attacking side of me and all the things that I'm gonna learn and develop as well. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited to grow from here and also looking forward to be one of the best in the future. But it's all gonna come out how I'm gonna do it off and on the field every single day. So I'm excited to see the future, but I don't know what it is, but it's all gonna come from my hard work. So
Well, and I think, on the front of your journey that Lori mentions, I mean, which can spell it out for folks. I mean, you didn't go to a big powerhouse traditional college, Northeastern Oklahoma, and you did very well there, but it's not necessarily, we've seen some of these other players in the league too, where, they haven't gone to the big college, so to speak, but they've, been successful and now made their way to the league. You had a few years in WPSL where, to be honest, a lot of people have kind of said, all right, it's not happening. It's not working out to get to the next level. What kept you going from those years in between and in, finally getting that pro contract?
I think for me, the one thing that I think kept going is just like every time I look at myself and I ask myself this question, am I gonna be happy if I don't make it to professional? You know what I mean? But then every time I picture myself out of that, I don't think I was gonna be happy if I don't make that dream come true. So it was just more of always having this picture in my head that I have to get there, I have to get there. And I think that's what, keep pushing me and drive me to go for every other chance that I get and be able to push myself hard every single day. That's the reason why I would say that made me, always. So it's just like, for me, it's just like, if I don't do it, I don't know how I'm going to be happy for that. That's the reason.
And,
Yeah.
and you were on, I mean, initially short-term contract, and we should say now, have done so well this year, re-signed multi-year. So
Yes.
obviously it impressed the Sky Blue staff. what was that? You've worked for years to kind of get to that moment in the spring when you get signed. What was that like for you going, essentially tryout basically and getting, the word that, hey, we want to sign you? And what was that moment like to finally come for you?
Well, so if I have to recall, like for I started this dream when I was like, I think 7 years ago before I came here. So it was just a long journey for me, and I knew that it's all gonna come out from whatever hard work that I put out there. But being able to go through tryout and get signed, it was just a huge accomplishment for me. And my mom was just super happy for me to be able to make that dream come true. Because I remember she would always call me, and I'm like, I'm at training and I don't get to talk to her. So when that happened, she was the first person that I called. And then she was like, yeah, you said you're gonna do it, but it happened. But I'm just grateful that I didn't give up and I kept pushing, and just being able to surround myself with good people, and and also just taking every advice, every little details in to be able to make this happen, because it's not easy. It's even being on the field with a lot of players, watching McCall, Sarah, and all that. I've been watching them on TV, and then my first training, I was actually like, I was just like, what is happening? You know what I mean? So but I'm like, I'm like, oh, am I gonna be good? No matter how good you are, you have these little questions in your head. But then they were awesome. They made me feel comfortable, welcome to let me show what I have, and then they were able to help me grow as time goes on. So
Yeah.
I'm just grateful for those moments.
I love that. It's so relatable too, right? Because people, no matter what you're doing, you sometimes go into a situation and you don't feel confident in who you are. And for them to make you feel comfortable and that you can do this. I mean, you're clearly showing that you can do this, and you should be proud of yourself because you fit
Thank
right in, and you have been an asset to this Sky Blue FC team.
thank
I
you.
actually want to go back before that. I want to talk about what it was like growing up in Ghana and when your passion,
Oh,
is I work for the Columbus Crew, so I know there's Ghanaian players on our team, and I talk about
mhm.
their upbringing. But soccer is embedded in you guys. Football is embedded in you for a young age. Can you bring us back to what it was like growing up there and how you started to
Oh,
love the game?
well, in Ghana, we don't have youth soccer programs in Ghana. So when you are at the age of 7 to 10 years old, you basically playing around your cousins and the neighbors. So we kind of have this league that we play in Christmas, which is most of the time we put our lunch on it. You bet with your friends
Yeah.
with your lunch, and so if you lose, then you don't have lunch. So it was more like competition for every little kid. When your mom give you like $5, you're gonna put it on because you want to play and win more money so you can buy big food and all that. And so growing up, the only people that get to play was like we have the oldest group, which is like 18, 20, 25. They're the top group. So when you're younger, I remember my sister was the youngest in one of the group. She was an amazing player. She played at the 2010 World Cup in Germany and scored against United States. And
Just drop
she
that in
was
there,
like
right?
young. Yeah, she was like 13 or 15, and she would keep dribbling all these older people, and I was just watching. That was the moment I was like, this is what I want to do. I watch it, and then it was just surreal for me. So I spent a lot of time with boys playing around a lot. And then a few years later, my sister was like, come join my team. And I joined my sister. I was still a little kid, running around playing. And then I started growing, joined the older team. I was still young, couldn't play the leagues, but they would travel with me. And that's how I became, really like involved with the game. And as time goes on, I was still young, but then I was competing against my sister, trying to stop her, and then we have a lot of fight. But I think it's soccer in my country. It's different. We have so much talent. We have
Mhm.
so much amazing players, but it's just that the way things work over there is different. And I hope that one day they're gonna put so much money and so much infrastructure to help grow the game, because there's so much talent. If you don't have that necessary equipment to build those people up, there's no way that nobody will see them. So it was different, but I wouldn't take none of it, for granted, because I think that's what made me who I am, playing with boys making sure that I'm always like, aggressive. Don't let them, push me off and all that. So
Yeah.
that's how I started playing. So I was 13 years old. That was when I actually told myself I want to be a professional player. Even when I was playing with the boys, I didn't see myself that. It was more of like, oh, school is over, Christmas, now ready to get a lot of money, put your so everything is like bed. We play on PKs, you go 5 PKs. If you miss it, your lunch is gone. So it was really entertaining, and there was a lot of boys, local like community leagues, which I was one of the only girls that plays. And then the boys would tackle me behind me, like funny jokes, and I'm like, oh, I'm still gonna reach. Like it's all of that makes me who I am today. And so, but now
I
things
love
are
that.
changing. That we have a lot of Division 1 teams in Ghana, but there's still a lot that has to happen to develop. Because for me, looking back right now, a lot of the players that I've played with and I've watched, and now growing up, they have the talent, but now they don't have anyone to help them, push them and guide them to get to the next stage. So hopefully, I can help them in one day. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you might be at one point in your later on, once your career's done, you might be in some administrative ideas there, because it sounds like you've got a plan to help a lot of people in Ghana. And
I
thank you
do.
for sharing that. So cool to learn more about you and your passion for the game, and how, just like us, you grew up in Ghana, I
I
grew up in
know.
the US, but watching the World Cup, how those distinct memories change your life. It's
Yep,
cool.
definitely did.
I have a few questions about Sky Blue. And well, can I
Great.
ask the question that's over here, Jordy? Because I think this is
Yeah, this
interesting.
one
How do
from Ted.
you,
Yeah.
so we do have a question. How do you enjoy the
Mhm.
style of play in North America? This is from Ted Williams versus Africa.
Say that again. What did you say?
So we have a question from a viewer, Ted
Oh,
Williams.
okay.
Yeah, he wants to know kind of, can you talk about the differences? How do you like it?
I think I can say American and Africa is a total different style of play. In Africa, it's more like creating, using the ball. You get a ball, you don't always kind of pass it right away. You always want to do something with the ball, connect and all that. But here, it's more like the intensity, and learning the tactics, and approaching each game with different kind of a way of winning, which is like, always you have to be physical, you have to be, fast, but I would say, for me, training and doing everything, I just wanted to be able to do both, which I'm still learning to get better with American style of play. But in total, the African is way different. It's kind of similar to how Europeans play, different than here. So American is more really strong, and it's like intense game for everybody that in
Oh, oh, Lori and I know that. Lori and I used to play in NWSL, so we know it is strong and intense and tactical, and cool to hear you
Yeah,
say and just compare and contrast
But
the different styles.
definitely.
Go
But
ahead, Laura.
that's what I love about your style and watching you play in the Challenge Cup, and then in these first few games of the fall series, is that like it's sometimes really difficult for players to adapt to the physicality of the play and how the pressure and how quick it's coming. And you've been able to use your savviness, your skill on the ball in a way that we don't always see players have those developments in their game here in the U.S. And so it's been really like a delight to see you bring that influence so quickly into this league. So that wasn't a question. That was just a statement. It was a little phrase.
Yeah, thank
I
you
do
so
have another
much.
question, but like, I mean, I always talk over Jeff, so I'd like him to chime in.
No, you're not. No, you're not talking over me. I was. Maybe I'll combine. We had an Instagram question, which I wanted to ask you too. Maybe combine them. I mean, you represented Ghana at the youth level, youth World Cups, and you talked a little bit about the style of play there. And I'm curious. Maybe I'll fold this into the Instagram question, which was, what is your best day as a footballer that you've had? And I don't know. Maybe it's at a World Cup. Maybe it was the Sky Blue. Stepping on the field. What do you think might be the favorite day that you've had, or favorite moment even?
Oh, I think I would. I don't think I will have one moment. It definitely even making my first professional, debut, and also playing for my country. So I would say I have two moments. My first under 17 World Cup, I think I was young. I was like 16 or 15. That was one of the most the first time. I haven't seen 1,000 people at the stadium. So first time I saw over 1,000 people watching me, and I'm like, oh wow, that means I'm great. I'm doing something good for those people to watch me. So it's one of the great moments for me. And also being able to step on the field on my first game, it's amazing. And I will never forget that day. And I remember I remember going into the game, and one of my team drink. I don't know if I should drink the water or what. I just threw the water out. It's just like, Jen, you got this, you got this. Those moments, it made me realize that it's just special for me. It makes it exceptional. I think that's what I'll say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully, come early 2021, we're back to some normalcy and fans, and you've got Red
Yes.
Bull Arena with a lot of fans that you can play in front of.
You,
Definitely, and I'll remember that day again. Yeah.
we talked a little bit about you as like a footballer for Sky Blue and like getting into the attack. But what, as you as a player as a whole, like what do you want to achieve? What excites you? What are your biggest aspirations? Both on and off the field, really.
So especially even with my professional right now, I think something I'm looking to do is, especially, I wanted to improve on especially my scoring ability. I'm so bad with that. I love dribbling too much, but I've been working on it, and I'm taking every advice from my players, especially my goalkeeper Kaylin. But I think I do want to be not just a player that is just, you strong, you can defend. I want to be all kinds of, that quality of a player, that round player that can attack, can defend, can do all of that. In the moment when a team needs you, you can step up and do something great for your team to win. So I want to do all that. And also with my national team, hopefully we can, get to the next stage. But it all comes to, the work that the leaders have to do for us to get to the next place. So that's pretty much my goal, that being able to help my team, both of my team, national team and club team, to get to, you know, next level, and also being one of the best all the time. So
I love
that's
that.
definitely.
We have another question here from Robert Rogers, wants to know, what's it like playing in Freya's system?
Whew, okay. So I think Sky Sky Blue will be the first time that for me learning how to, especially when you play midfield, even if you're playing a 10, you kind of find yourself playing like a 6. It's a different system that all three of the midfield rotate. And it's like that's how American midfielders do. But growing up, we didn't do that. If you're playing a 6, you're more like, the sweeper, do all the daily works.
Mhm.
And then your 8 and 10 will be more like distribution and all that. So you kind of like, where you have to be. You don't have to come all the way, and be like a 6. So it took me a while. Sometimes I'm more like, trying to get the ball instead of, looking at my back, or or looking at the space behind. But as time goes on, and now I understand, and I'm still growing. But I really like the way we play in the system and all that. But first, it was really hard for me to understand where I have to be. I'm playing at 8, and now I'm already up in the 10, and I'm 6. I'm like, and then you don't even get like stay there for a minute. You like there for like 10 seconds. I'm like, okay, but now I'm totally understand the game, and I know where I have to. I know every player where they will be. So it's a lot, but also I'm enjoying it for sure.
I love that. Man, we could talk to you for a long time, I feel
Right.
like.
I'm down. I'm free
Yeah.
all day.
Wait,
Go ahead, Lori.
I do want one more. I mean, I have to do it. All right. Bet like funniest teammate on Sky Blue, somebody that's really been like helped you in terms of like elevate your game and get used to the professional rankings.
Who? I think I have a lot of people. I feel like for me personally, even on the outside the field, I'm more open, and I'm like really funny person. I make jokes all the time. But let me see.
So you're the funny one.
If I think I would say I'm one of the funniest, but my teammate. So that if I have to say one person, I would say Estelle always get me, get mood, and I'm just gonna do this, and then she'll just dive into it with me. Those are
The
a lot of
best,
the things.
yes.
She's
That
always,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, if
yeah,
Estelle's
I think
watching,
Estelle.
hi, she's great, and we love her as well.
Yeah, I think first I would say Estelle, and there's a few people that I can mention their names here. So it's like when that moment you get in, it's just like, yeah, right there, let's go. So I like that. I'm more like energy all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I do have to ask too. Your name says Jennifer Kaka. Is that your middle name? Is that a
Ooh.
nickname?
It's a nickname I got when I was like 8 years old.
Okay, tell us more.
So back in my country, when you were little, like I said, playing around with the boys, it's like you have to have a name, a player that plays like the way you play. So every games that we play, a lot of people will call themselves like Messi. You have to be lefty. You have to be able to dribble five people at the same time. People will call themselves Ronaldo. You have to be able to run. So for me, I've always loved Kaka growing up, watching Brazil at the 2010 World Cup and all of that. He's like, I feel like I have similarity. He's more composed on the ball. When he gets the ball, he's like more relaxed. He knows what to do with the ball. He's just like all around player. I love him. He seems really handsome and chill. So watching, I was playing with boys and I couldn't remember his name, and I've always remembered. But that day, we all stopped. Everybody was waiting for me to call somebody that I'm really looking to use his name. So I was just sitting there, and this old man watching us was like, oh, the way I was explaining it, he was like, oh, are you talking about Kaka from Brazil? I was like, yeah, that's the guy, and that's how the name came up. And I started having the name Kaka. And so the next few days, I went home and put Tapi right on my white shirt, write the name Kaka. But I had my first name, which is Jane. So I had Jane Kaka. And I wear it under my jersey every time after training. I would take it off. Then my teammates now started calling me Kaka. So pretty much in Ghana, everybody call me Kaka, Kaka, Kaka. That's how
Oh
I
my
got the
gosh,
name.
that's amazing.
Well, let's get it on your
I
jersey
love
here,
that.
okay? Let's get it
Yeah.
on your
Who
jersey.
says who says you can't have it here next year, 2021? You're putting Jane Kaka on it.
I love that. Yep, I love him. He's an amazing player.
Yeah. One last thing for me. What do you mentioned earlier that you like to cook, but what else are you passionate about off the field? Like what's a day in the life look like for you?
So, so for me, pretty much, I'll work out. If I don't work out, I'm home cooking every day. It's like I don't know why. If I don't cook, either I'm going to visit my sister, or I'll hang out with my teammate, and also the rest of the night is like my time. I'll watch a lot of movies. Like I'm on watching movies. If there's soccer all day, I'm watching soccer. So pretty much my life is simple, but also there's a lot of things that I would do. Like I would have to talk to my family back home, a few friends, and also other things that I want to do, get into community things and all that, help other kids. So I
Yeah,
would spend time talking to a lot of players, helping them to understand the game and all that. That's what my daily life is. So
that's so
nothing
great.
more.
I love it.
Yeah,
No, that's amazing and really shows who you are as a person to continue to help others and to have that connection piece you were talking about. I'm sure that's not only with people in Ghana, but there in New Jersey as well, trying to get connected in the community. So, Jennifer,
definitely.
you have been amazing. Thank you so much. We took
Oh,
more
thank you.
time, more of your time than we would have hoped to, but we really have
Great.
loved
Yeah.
one watching you play, but two getting to know you. Thank you for spending this time with us.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
thank you so
having me.
much, and good luck, and enjoy the rest of the fall series.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
Oh my goodness.
welcome. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.